Hey everyone, we are the Below Average Golfers, and we are raising money for the Travis Sherritt Growing the Golf Game Scholarship.
On September 18th, 2023, we are each tasked with birdieing all 18 holes at Arrowhead Golf Club in Greenfield, Indiana. The course has been generous enough to give us special permission to play from the time that the course opens until the time it closes.
The Travis Sherritt Growing the Game Scholarship is targeted to help student athletes on the golf teams at Eastern Hancock High School and Greenfield Central High School here in Indiana, which is where Owen and I went to school.
As 18 and 10 handicappers, this is a tall task, but we are up for the challenge and would love your help with donations. There are many ways to donate. You can donate for each birdie made, maximum of 36 birdies, each eagle made, if we hit a hole in one, and then if you're a corporation or if you just want to sponsor a hole, you can do that. And if you're just generous enough to contribute to this, you can donate to the scholarship fund directly.
To get involved, please visit the links in the description below. There, you will see more information on the challenge, a Google form to pledge donations, and a GoFundMe to make miscellaneous donations.
After the challenge is complete, we will be going through the process of selecting winners for this scholarship. If you're a student athlete that participates in golf at Eastern Hancock or Greenfield Central and you're interested, please see the details below to learn how to apply.
For a cause that means so much to us, we're super thankful for anybody that decides to donate, and we hope that we can birdie all of those and maximize the donations for this scholarship.
So there you have it. That is the big announcement. We're going to get into all of the details of it, but as you heard in that clip, on September 18th of this year, 2023, Caleb and I will be making our way to a course that we've played a number of times. It is a course that I have my hole-in-one at. It is a course that Caleb, I've seen you shoot 2 under on the front nine before. Probably not for me specifically, but is that kind of where you have your best record as far as golf goes? I mean, again, we've played there so many times, but so I'm kind of throwing out an assumption there. But
Yeah,
yeah.
best 9-hole score for sure. That 2 under. Never. I think at that point I'd only been even up until that day, and then shot 2 under there. But yeah, it's a course that I grew up on. I mean, it's my home course.
Right. No, yeah, no doubt. We're both from the Greenfield area, and Greenfield, Indiana area, and as a result of that, like you only have a few options for golf courses, and Arrowhead is one of those. It's been great for the community. It's been we've talked a lot about this course because that's where a lot of our golf has been played together. I would say majority of the golf that you and I have played has been out there. And then I mean we've played in outings out there. Again, have a bunch of below and above average golf moments there. So very, very familiar with the course. So essentially what we are doing, if you didn't understand from that little clip, is that Caleb and I will be going out. The course opens up, at whatever point in September, usually, earlier in the morning. Got to deal with the sunlight and the maintenance crews and everything going on out there. But essentially from the time that the course opens until it closes, which will probably be about 7 p.m. in September, if we're lucky. We are tasked to play golf all day. Thanks to the course for allowing us to do that. And essentially, we are each individually have to each birdie each hole out there, and that's kind of the challenge. So it is a tall task for sure. I'm definitely nervous about it for my own self. I think that it is going to be a challenge, but that's why we're doing it. There's a lot of different ways to donate. It's not just donating if we complete the challenge, but it's more donating to how many birdies do you think that we would make, and kind of putting a monetary value to that. So if you think, hey, these clowns are only going to get 10 or 10 or 15 birdies on the day collectively, then you can put your money there. But you also run the risk that we get 20 or 25 or 36, and at the end of the day, it's going to a great cause. So yeah, from the time that it opens until the time it closes, we are going out. We're going to be, partially with the public there. The course will still be operating as it would on a September day. So there will be some weaving in between groups from time to time, or waiting for people to go. But we, as soon as we birdie a hole individually, so let's say Caleb birdies number one. Caleb no longer plays hole number one. Caleb can assist me on hole one as far as like caddying or giving encouragement or whatever, but Caleb no longer plays hole one because he is done at that point. And again, it is the entire goal is to get all 18 holes birdied each. So that's the challenge. Now, what it's for, of course, is, and I'll let Caleb kind of touch a little further on what it's for exactly, and kind of the history of it. But we are, I went to Greenfield Central High School. Caleb went to Eastern Hancock High School. Caleb played on the golf team, so I'll let him talk a little more to it. But essentially, the whole goal for this is to be a scholarship fund for a golfer, women's or men's team at either of these schools, and contribute to however they would use that scholarship for future education. So. Caleb, I'll let you kind of touch on the history of why it's named after Travis and why it means so much to you specifically as well.
Yeah. So if you're a longtime Bags listener, I didn't play a whole lot of golf growing up until about 6th grade, 5th grade. I kind of got the itch for it, I guess. Never really. That was kind of when, Dad was like, "Hey, I'm going to go golfing. Do you want to go?" And then it was like, I'm not really doing anything else. Like, I might as well. So, I would say Dad was a very big part of, the reason why I started to golf. But the other real big reason was in 6th grade, my cousin Travis Sherritt, he passed away in a car accident. He was a senior at Blue River Valley High School, which is here in Indiana. And, he was on the golf team, and it was something that I did with him, or I did with my other cousins here and there, kind of like I did with my dad. I didn't really have my own set. I think at that point I still had like the junior set that has, 4 clubs in it and a putter. Yeah. Like it was nothing, nothing special or anything. But, wanting to kind of get involved a little bit more, seeing that he was pretty much the reason why I got turned on to Tiger. He was a big Tiger Woods fan. So, started watching golf a lot just because of, how he was talking about golf and all of that. But, after he passed, my aunt and uncle were, nice enough to let me have his clubs. And for whatever reason, that really sparked, something inside me that like, hey, everybody in the family, or if you knew him, you called him T-Money, right? And so something that I wanted to do for T-Money was, carry on his legacy of golf, whether I was as good as him or not. I wanted to not let his clubs go to waste. And so it's something that I, once I grabbed his clubs, or, once I got his clubs, really took those to heart. I used his putter for let's see. So probably about 10, 12 years. I still have it in the garage. That thing's not going anywhere. That putter means just as much to me as it does, anything else golf related that I have. So yeah, I was super blessed to have my aunt and uncle to give me those clubs. And, we've talked about it on, off air before, that like, we feel like our calling is golf somehow. And, right now it's just this podcast, but who's to say in the future that it's not anything else? Right. And, this is a really big step, I think, for us to, turn it into something else, and turn it into something else for others. Like, I know I'm not going to be on tour, but, the way that Travis kind of helped me in a way, really get the itch for golf is, I want to give that to somebody else. And so, one day we were, or I was scrolling through Instagram and saw, and I forget who it was, so I apologize, but I saw that guy. He was just trying to birdie, all 18 holes at his local course. And I think he gave himself 24 hours. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really cool. That's what caught my attention. And so I watched it and I was like, you know what? Like, I wonder if we could do this for ourselves, and shot it over to Owen. And, we've talked to all the necessary people that we need to, talk to my aunt and uncle, and they love the idea. And, I'm fairly hopeful that they'll be involved, in some way or form, whether it's helping out with the scholarship or maybe helping out that day. But yeah, man, I'm super excited, to honor Travis and with this. And I know, or at least I'm hoping that I'm making him a little bit proud with what I've done with my golf game and what I've continued to do, um, because of him and his legacy of playing golf.
For sure. No, I mean, I think that, yeah, man. I mean, the reality of Vags is like, if that never happened, this podcast is definitely not a thing because, especially even just you and I and our friendship and all of that, like it started because of golf, or it blossomed, I should say, because of golf, right?
Right.
Like we connected on that, and like that's what we've done. And then, we were always talking about golf, and it turned into, at one point we did just a local league, and then next thing you know, we're like, well, why don't we do a podcast? We love talking about this stuff and all that, and that all stems from that moment years ago for you and with Travis. So excited to hopefully bring that type of opportunity to other people, because the game of golf means so much to us, individually, together, everything. And we just want to continue to pass that along to other people. And I think no better way than to start with somebody that, or collectively a couple of people, right? Because we're picking one from Eastern Hancock, we're picking one from Greenfield Central, and hopefully no better way to kind of spark that interest even further, of like, hey, maybe it's just a sport right now, but like this could be a lifetime thing for me in some fashion, right? It could be you're hosting a podcast that is about golf, or it could be that you're going off and playing mini tours and trying to pursue go play in some Monday qualifiers and try to get your way onto a PGA Tour or something like that. Like that's what we're trying to help out with, is just to, again, by the name of it, grow the game. So very excited to see what happens there. So if you are watching and listening as a student of either of those schools that participates in golf, definitely take a look at the application that will be running. You have almost a year to apply for that, so that'll be running until May of next year. Full details are in the description and a part of that application. But again, we're gearing up for this on September 18th, so just under 3 months away at this point. We're getting into the I don't know if it's a 90-day count at this point or what, but it's coming up here soon, and we're super excited and very thankful to Arrowhead for giving us this opportunity. So let's talk about the challenge a little bit. So we do have to birdie all 18 holes. I'm a lot more confident in you than I am myself, given the the differences in our game. I definitely have like I don't know if it's just an underlying fear or something of like, am I even going to birdie one hole? Like there is that part of me that's like, dude, we're going into this, and it's like, we are below average golfers. We are not lying when we say this, especially me. I think that my game has come a long way, and I think that hoping to see those continual improvements, especially over the next 90 days, where I'm playing a lot more golf because of the weather and time of year and all of that. So I'm hoping that by the time that we're teeing it up on September 18th, I'm feeling a little more confident. But as I sit here today, I'm definitely a little scared. But Caleb, from your perspective and your own game and kind of how you've seen and your just experience playing out at Arrowhead in the past, how confident are you in knocking down all 18 at this point?
Yeah. I want to be confident. I want to almost be overly confident just because I want to do well.
Yeah.
I want to get that money for those students and maximize that. So like, I want to say that, I'm fairly confident that over the course of an entire day, 12-hour period, I can at least probably get half. I would love to say it's going to be somewhere between 12 and 15. But that's a tall order, just based on certain holes, right? So there's some holes that I definitely feel like, hey, I'm going to go after it, because I think what our plan is, once we get out of the running of birdieing a hole, we're probably just going to go on to the next one to save time and save daylight. So,
Save our
there's a
hands and our muscles and everything.
Yeah, we'll have to do the old Nard dog with the lotion and the gloves. But yeah, it's going to be like attack mode all day. And that's something that, like, a lot of times you and I we have to take our medicine here. And like, of course, there's going to be times where it's like, hey, maybe I should just punch out and then lay up, and then, I can maybe tap in on the par 5 or whatever. But for the most part, it's go, go all day.
Yeah.
And that's not a golf that I'm used to playing. Like, so I'm excited to see, like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to, we're going to attack pins. We're going to, try to read the slopes. We're going to try to, cut the corners. Cause I know there's at least, 1, 2, 3, 4 holes that are dog legs, that or 5 actually, that are, that can be really short if you can cut those dog legs. So
yeah.
I'm super excited, man. I'm happy that we were able to get this rolling. Again, special thanks to Arrowhead. I wasn't quite sure, like, I know the owner, Chad Oden. He's a great guy. When I approached him with this, I wasn't necessarily expecting him to say no, but it wouldn't have shocked me, right? Like, we're asking for, the course all day. And we knew that there was going to be some hiccups or some bumps or anything like that. But, I sat down with him, or, we gave him a call, sat down with him a couple weeks later, and he was all for it. No hesitation. Hey, I love this. We're going to do this. We just need to find the right date. Obviously playing on a weekend would have been extremely hard, from the course perspective and for ours perspective. So, settled on a Monday, which I think will be good.
Yes.
To my understanding, there is a league going on, but, Chad was the one that was like, hey, let's loop you loop you on the back 9 first. That gets everybody off the front 9, and then you guys are good to go. So, he was a big facilitator in how this is going to go as well. And then reaching out to the schools. The athletic directors were super helpful. Aaron Spalding over at Eastern, Jared Manning at Greenfield. The school foundations, not so much, but that's okay. We're new to this. And yeah, I think this is going to be a great day for us, and hopefully, anybody that decides that they want to donate, and we'll get into the details more of that here in a minute. But yeah, man, it's attack all day, and I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everything, it's just the fundamentals of the game are going to be the same, right? Like, we got to take smart shots, especially like off the tee. Like, we can't just be swinging for the fences on everything. But once you're kind of off the tee, I mean, it's just go for it. It's just an absolute, like, got a pin hunt. Like, and the reality of birdies is that if you're not on a green in regulation, if you're not on a green in regulation, you're not getting it done. Like, unless you hole out. Like, it's just, you've got to be attacking the green. And so it's going to be, yeah, I mean, no laying up, absolutely no laying up, unless it is a par 5, but I don't think in our scenario, like, it really makes sense to lay up on much, on the par 5s that are there. So yeah, that's what makes me nervous, though. that's what makes me nervous, is that's like it's almost like a outing mentality a little bit, where it's like, just throw everything out the window, throw the John Sherman, methodology out the window, throw the stats out of the window. Don't, Lou Stagner, do not tell me that Tiger Woods only makes it to the green 50% of the time from 75% or 175 yards out. Like, throw out all the stats. It's completely go for the pins and try to knock down some longer putts, I'm sure. And I mean, I think we were kind of talking about it, and we have months to kind of talk about our strategy. And I think that, at least my idea is for us to have a whole podcast kind of dedicated to strategizing, sitting down and like pulling up the GPS and being like, okay, these are a couple things that we're going to do and we're going to stay committed to for at least the first half of the day while we're kind of at full go. And then it's going to go out the window at some point. At some point, it's just all about getting out there. But I think that there's going to be some strategy that's involved to get that all settled. So looking forward to that. But we were kind of talking about how, after you hit a shot where it's like, okay, I didn't find the green, like as soon as I chip it on there and it doesn't roll in, if I miss the green, like I'm going to have to just pick up the ball and go. Like we are fighting daylight a little bit in September. It looks like sunset. The projection right now, sunset on Monday, September 18th is 7:49 p.m. So I think comfortably can play till about 8.
7. Yeah, that'll be tough.
It'll be tough. We're going to be grinding on some of that. So, but yeah, I don't know. But the thing is like, hey, if you don't believe in us and you don't believe that we can do the challenge, again, hey, just bet on us and donate based on if you only think that we're going to make 10 birdies that day, because you can. And like you were saying, we'll get to the kind of the donation strategy. So you can donate for how many birdies are made. There's a max of 36 birdies, with 2 of us being a part of this challenge. So far there's potential that changes, but we'll see. But we'll see what we can do up in Michigan here soon. I'll see what kind of sales pitches we can give to old T to bring him down to Indy. But anyways, so right now, as it stands, 36 maximum birdies that can take place between us. So you can donate based on that. So if you're like, hey, these guys are going to do it, they have 12 hours to do it, they're going to get all 36 birdies. Throw down $5 for every birdie made, and then you're looking at, I don't.
180.
Forgive my 180. There you go. Forgive my. Thank you
chose a terrible number.
Thank you for being my. Thank you for being my human calculator here. But yeah, if you're like, hey, these guys are only going to get 10. Hey, throw 50 on it. Throw 20 on it. Like, we'll take it. We'll take it. We're hoping that, we're hoping that we can get all the money out of you for this fund. So you kind of have to. Play the game a little bit with us. You are kind of betting against us or with us in some ways by donating, and that's what makes it a little fun. Again, full transparency. 17 handicap, 8 handicap. It depends. We are really
where we'll be at. Yeah, fluctuates.
We're really, if we're being transparent and kind of like how we fully evaluate our games, probably about a 10 and 18 handicap is a fair assessment of us. So. And you can keep track of that by listening to Bags every week if you want to be really strategic on how you donate. Outside of that, you can also donate for Eagles made. Clearly, you can make an eagle on, or hypothetically can make an eagle on all 36 holes. That's considered. I mean, it's 2 under
impossible,
par.
But hey,
it's close to impossible, but you can do that. So it would be a max of 36. So clearly pony up a little more for that one, because there's only a couple holes that are realistic, unless we're holing out. There's only a couple like realistic eagle holes out there. Like the par 5s are realistic if we really get one up there. Maybe the one par 4 that's like 300 yards, hole 7. Like if we were to drive the green, like that's possible. But
my guess, sorry to jump ahead here. My guess is there's only 8 holes possible for us.
Probably.
Can't
and out
do
of those,
one.
Out of those 8, how realistic? Probably 4.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how it'll depend on the weather, first of all, especially on like hole number 2. You and I can both drive that hole. With the right weather, with the right conditions. So not concerned there. 7 also, you and I could probably pull 3-wood and be right in front of the green on that hole. 8's a par 5. 9, I think it'll depend on the leaves on the trees.
Yeah.
The other day I almost drove 9, so that's what gives me hope that that's possible at some point throughout the day. 10, I think it'll depend on the trees. We can carry the water. Can't do 11 unless we get stupid lucky on a hop. 12 is shorter. 13 is shorter. Not going to get 14. 15 is a par 5, and that's it. So I guess 9. So
Okay. Yeah.
9 with the ultimate respect being probably 4.
4. Yeah. Okay. So again, do with that as you will, but you can donate for every eagle that is made in the day. Again, once we play a hole and once we birdie it or eagle it, if we get birdie or better is basically the challenge, right?
Right.
So once we birdie or eagle a hole, we won't play it again. So if we birdie one of those holes, we can't get an eagle on it. So again, factor all of that in. Maybe put a higher number on the eagles, because there's a good chance that doesn't even hit. So, and if it does, it's a big feat. You can also donate for hole-in-one made. Just saying.
Somebody's done it.
Bags does have a hole-in-one out at Arrowhead, so just on the record there. But
I'm going to talk to Chad and see if I can place the holes that day. I think that would also be super helpful. Knowing the course as well as, we do,
yeah.
I think there are some pin placements that will be much more helpful than others.
Yes. My pin placement on my hole-in-one would not be fun. I'll just say that.
Yeah. No. That one you probably want in the middle of the green.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll break that down. I'll break that down on the strategy episode. But now that I think about it, if we can pick out those pins, I would even feel more confident, just knowing like, hey, this is where it's at and this is where we like it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they can accommodate that, but we'll see. Either way, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it in some way or another. So you can donate for that. You donate for the hole-in-one, and then you can also just donate miscellaneous. So if you're like, hey, I don't care to know exactly what you guys do, but I do care about what you're doing as far as the scholarship fund and all that. You can do that. And then if you just want to like pledge a minimum amount where you're like, hey, I'm going to say $50 minimum. Like no matter what you guys do today, whether I pledge, $1 for every eagle made or $1 for every birdie made or $50 of a hole-in-ones made, like you can also do a minimum so you kind of know what you're at least giving to it. And then if there is a maximum, I mean, definitely kind of put that into the math, given kind of what you know today. So you can pledge that. Go ahead.
We're going to be keeping this open all the way up until, we decide to give it out next May. Maybe we can brainstorm, while we're up in Michigan here, some ideas on maybe doing something for the spring, but we're going to keep that GoFundMe open, all winter long. So if, hey, you were blessed over the holiday and you're like, hey, I've got a couple extra bucks that I don't really know what to do with. If you want to, toss that to the scholarship, that would be awesome. Hoping that I can do that myself. So
yeah,
we're going to keep it running and, maybe try to get something in the spring to help, boost that total a little bit. And then or you can also donate to be a hole sponsor. To be a hole sponsor, we're going to ask that it's a minimum of $100. If you want to donate more than that, that's great. But just to be a whole sponsor, my thought process is that some people are just going to be whole sponsors, and maybe not donate per birdie or whatever, which is fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But in that case, we will have multiple whole sponsors per hole. So, we've already got, I think I've talked to 4 people that are very interested right now. 2 local businesses that I'm, super excited to to get them, involved and whatnot. So if we have 36 or, if we have 42, hole sponsors, then we're just going to spread them out probably equally as we can. And we may, have the hole number one sponsored by Apple and Callaway or, whatever it is. So don't be shy if you're like, hey, I just want to sponsor a hole. I'll get in contact with you and we can, I plan to do some yard signs, to make sure that we get everybody's name out there and thank them in the right way. But yeah, any and all donations would be great.
Exactly. Yeah, and to actually get involved with all of this, there is a Google form. That's the way to like really pledge the donations. I would say we'll be in contact as soon as we receive somebody's pledge, just to make sure that, hey, just want to clarify, this is kind of what we're thinking. Make sure that it kind of meets your minimum, maximum of kind of what you're hoping for, and confirm there. And then that's open now. And then again, if you just want to do miscellaneous donations, you can do that directly to the GoFundMe. And then if you need to work outside of GoFundMe, put that in the Google form as well, or reach out to us. Our email is a part of the Google form and everything there. So super excited for this. So much more content to come from this. We're clearly going to have strategy sessions. This is going to be something that we're talking about the next few months. Everything in our game that we're working towards improving on is going to help towards this. So any above, below average golf moment that we have is definitely going to be geared towards preparing for this. So there's so many things that we haven't gotten to on it, but we will. And we're just thankful for everybody, even considering donating. I mean, I don't know if GoFundMe has a minimum, but even if it's $5, like any dollar helps for this. And again, just looking forward to growing the game with the Scholarship Foundation here. So